Hello YouTube, Pinchio8 is here and is back at his 1 to 400 scale model airport setting. I know it's been a very long time since I've been here due to the fact that my grandmother was living here. Well, I'm also quickly proud to announce that she has somewhat moved out back to where she originally lives, but so far there's no word if she'll be ever coming back or not. This room is definitely going to be plenty ready in case she does come back, so I think now is a good idea and a very good time for me to take advantage of this airport area while I can. Anyway, as you're seeing as a very good preview, what this video is about is definitely an amazing sought after model that GeminiJets has not come out with in 1/400 scale in almost a decade and a half, and it is the Delta Connection CRJ-900. So, as a preview on this is what the RJs looked like by then, or as I like to say for short, the RJ900s looked like when they were made between 2007 and 2008. And I am very proud to announce that after about a decade and a half, that I'm ready to take on my review of the official 2021 release of the Delta Connection CRJ900, or as I like to call it, the RJ900, because these are really regional jets, so that's why I like to call it the RJ900 for short, or RJ9, because these are regional jets. The C in it really stands for Canadair. And for those of you who might or might not know, this company, Bombardier, was actually brought out by the manufacturer called Mitsubishi. And I know about Mitsubishi because they've made cars and all. I guess now they're going to manufacture airplanes now that they brought out Bombardier. So in some world, it's kind of sad to see Bombardier's name has officially disappeared. But I'm glad GeminiJets held on to Bombardier's name. As we all know, there are regional jets made by both Bombardier and Embraer, but either way, for short, when it comes to small aircraft like the regional jets, that's why I like to call them the RJs for short. And I will tell you, it has been almost a decade and a half since GeminiJets has ever come out with this aircraft, especially the Delta Connection ones, and now after finally waiting a decade and a half, the time for its re-release has finally come. And I heard for the May/June releases of GeminiJets, yes, they are coming out with an American Eagle RJ900. However, I only have one right now on pre-order. I actually instead don't have one for Delta Connection, but as you're seeing now, two of them. I pre-ordered these from another retailer I used to order a lot of my planes from called Airplane Shop in Fairfield, New Jersey. I'm very glad that they were in stock for pre-order. Otherwise, the way I see it, if I would have hesitated to pre-order from any retailer, I would have never had the chance at getting my hands on these. I mean, so many retailers, from Waffle Collectibles to even RM Model Store, or any places like that, have completely, really quickly sold out of these during their pre-order time until I saw them available on Airplane Shop for pre-order. And to me, it also did seem as if hope was lost for me that they wouldn't come in, but eventually I got an email saying that they were shipped and they got here to Jax very quickly. So they are officially in my hands. And I'm also happy to announce that I got the news between yesterday and today that my usual retailer these days, Waffle Collectibles, is officially restocking on about 70 plus of these. And they're going to be limited to about one or two per customer. So if I ever get the opportunity or chance, I might just get one more of these to make my Atlanta model airport and everything look more complete. Because believe me, I have been definitely, along with other collectors, been needing this aircraft for my Atlanta airport for a long time. However, for the American Eagle RJ900, I'm only getting one of these because it's mostly going to be used for my model airport updates of Jacksonville. since the Jacksonville airport here in Jax has seen American Eagle RJ900s even more on a daily basis than the Delta Connection RJ900, they have definitely seen the Delta Connection RJ900s, but they're not flying out of Jacksonville currently. But they are still being used out of Atlanta. In fact, most of the RJ900 routes are the same routes that they've also used before on the smaller RJ200. For those of you who might or might not know, American Eagle, formerly U.S. Airways Express, has officially retired their very tiny RJ200s, and I have a feeling that Delta may be next to retire their RJ200s. I've seen on Flight Radar out of Atlanta currently, the only places they go to with their RJ200s are places like Valdosta, Georgia, as well as Brunswick, Georgia. So they're mostly doing a few runs in other cities in Georgia, except for probably Savannah. They're probably using these for Savannah flights and all. Plenty of flights that have been flown on the RJ200 before, completely taken over by the RJ900. So I gotta tell you, the RJ900 is like truly the Delta Connection workhorse. So I'm so glad after so many decades of waiting, finally I can get about a stack of now officially 3 of them, including these and this one you just saw earlier. However, this release of these actually does have its difference. It kind of looks exactly like how it was when the differences were when GeminiJets re-released their Delta Connection RJ700. If you haven't seen my review of the 2018 edition of the Delta Connection RJ700, I might probably see if I can post a link to that video in the description. I believe I reviewed 2 Delta airplanes during that video. Although I don't really seem interested in trying to link that video. So probably to make it better, I'll also do another video comparing the RJ700 and 900s between their old and new releases. But other than that, I will show you how the old and new releases of the Delta Connection RJ900s are right now as I do this review. So I think I'm only going to pull one of these out of the box so that way it doesn't make a very, very long video, even though I have 2 of them. In fact, I have to also confess I've had these in my possession for a very, very long time since they came out, like probably I'd say the first week of May or so, or well, I can't really remember. It probably had to be the first week of May, or probably the end of April, because these really took a long time on their pre-order moments and all. And I finally have them, and I'm very excited. So I'm proud to probably announce that once I'm done reviewing these, I'm officially going to start the 2021 airport model season with my Atlanta airport updates, with these aircrafts debuting along with the Air RJ900 that I've got back there. And I know for a long time this has been the only example of a Delta Connection RJ900 I've had. They have been trying to sell the plain livery of this release for a long time, but they priced out for like the most highest prices ever. Practically the same price as like a full-sized car or even a vacation on a cruise ship or so. Crazy, isn't that? I also do want to give this video a shout out to about 3 YouTubers who have definitely, a lot like me, been really going completely sought after with this model. Those YouTubers include Citrus Aviation, Red River Aviation, and probably CLT Aviation 13, because I know he put his Atlanta airport updates on hold or on a hiatus, probably because he too was probably waiting for GeminiJets to do a re-release on the Delta RJ900 as well as the American Eagle RJ900. Because I know on most of his airport updates of his hometown airport, Charlotte, to fill in for American Eagle RJ900, he uses the U.S. Airways ones, in which, confessingly, I do have that as well. I'll probably bring that out once the time comes for me to review the American Eagle RJ900. And speaking of me getting the American Eagle RJ900 very, very soon, I will also say that first off, I'm only getting one of these since I only need it for the Jacksonville airport, and since it's on pre-order still from a Canadian seller off of eBay. I actually got a few emails from him as I wrote in concern, hoping that that model does not come broken or so. He wrote back to me saying that when it does reach the warehouse that he sells them from, he will thoroughly inspect the models to make sure that they are in good shape and that they're not broken or anything like that. And as for these two Delta RJ900s, I definitely thoroughly inspected them. None of them are broken or have loose parts. They're in very, very good shape. Looks like I'm about 10 minutes into this video, so I think I've spoken quite long enough. So without further ado, here I go, pulling one of them out of the box so you can see the differences between a 2008/7 release or 9 and now the official 2021 release of the Delta RJ900. So let me zoom back in. And there she is. I'm trying to zoom in as far as I can so you can see very, very good details on this thing. So let me show you some difference between these two. So I think I may have zoomed in a little too much. I think I'll go with this view for now. Or I could just bring them up to the camera. Anyway, so here's the difference between the releases. So as you can see over here, the horizontal stabilizers on the T-tail are definitely correctly positioned like that, almost as if they're facing downwards. And also on the underbody or underbelly as you want to call it, the landing gear over here, the main landing gear is in the correct position like that, where it's on the actual wings and not over here. But unfortunately, that is what GeminiJets did with the re-release of the RJ900, and that's probably how their American Eagle RJ900s are going to look. So yeah, you see how these horizontal stabilizers are actually pointing downwards. So yeah, let me give you an up-close look at the new release now as I put that one there. So yeah, as you can see, for very, very good looks, as I put it in this position, you can see that the horizontal stabilizers on the T-tail are actually pointing upwards, in which that is definitely something an RJ of any size would not do. Kind of reminds me of an MD-80. And just like I said about the underbelly, the landing gear is definitely in this position instead, where it's on the belly or closer to the belly rather than out here like the real one should be. Yeah, that definitely reminds me of how it was when GeminiJets did their re-release on the Delta Connection RJ900. And even though I have both versions of the RJ900, I kind of cared less about the detail. And I know for users, Red River Aviation and Citrus Aviation, they cared about the look on theirs. And some of them, including mostly Red River, had plans to probably fix or customize these models by finding ways to set the horizontal stabilizers downwards and everything, and also pull out the main landing gear and put them or glue them back where they belong. But honestly, if I was you, I probably would not do such a thing like that. I didn't do that on my re-release of the re-release of the RJ900, because you gotta understand that for small models like these, they are extremely fragile, and when it comes to the landing gear, they're the tiniest parts ever on these models. So I have a feeling if you try to pull them out with no matter what tool you use, they're probably going to go flying and end up landing somewhere in your room that's probably going to make them very, very hard to find and all. So if I were you, as a safety precaution, I would just leave the model the way it is. I'm not trying to criticize you on your opinion or so. I'm just saying that it's a better idea to leave the model the way it is. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm really, really happy to finally, after waiting such a long time to get more Delta Connection RJ900s, very glad to have some official re-releases of them. And I'm glad I did the right thing pre-ordering them, because I gotta tell you, a lot of retailers, except for Airplane Shop, really sold out of these during their pre-order times. I gotta tell you, it probably will most likely happen again when they restock at Waffle, as well as other retailers, because trust me, between this with Delta Connection and American Eagle, these RJ900s are truly the most sought after models ever. Since for American Eagle and mostly Delta Connection, they're truly the workhorse of the Delta Connection and American Eagle regional carrier of mainline carriers, Delta Airlines and American Airlines. And I mean the absolute workhorse ever. So there you have it, my official review of the re-released Delta Connection CRJ-900 or RJ900 by GeminiJets. Can't wait to get the one American Eagle one for me to use at my Jacksonville airport. So I've decided to bring back these airport updates, and since I have these Delta ones, most likely I'll be starting the 2021 airport season off properly with Atlanta with the debut of these RJ900s. Very beautiful RJ900s. So very much thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Cameron at Pinchio8 signing and pinching out. In the words of Jeb Brooks, between now and the next time, I will see you in the sky.